Feeling guilty for no reason or having a lot of unconscious guilt can be a silent killer of almost anything good that you may have in your life, because guilt attracts punishment. Guilt doesn't deserve achievement, celebration, happiness, rest, and joy. And even finally something good happening in your life, you can't really accept it, you can't really enjoy it, because you can notice this subtle hidden anxiety or tension or a fear that now is good, but then something bad can happen. And it's only one sign of guilt, but it can manifest in so many different ways, like chronic procrastination and self-sabotage, people pleasing, fear of judgment, trying to be invisible, can't really rest or enjoy your life, as I mentioned before. Unfortunately, I know all of this through my own personal experience. I know how it feels to live with chronic guilt with no obvious reason. And that's why I want to help you to become aware of this pattern and find different ways how you can heal it and finally feel better. And even guilt is not always a bad thing. For example, there are situations when we did something wrong, maybe we hurt someone without intention, under emotions, under maybe some misunderstanding. Then we come down, we feel like this was not nice, I hurt someone else, and then I go maybe apologize, maybe I fix something, maybe I learned something, maybe I changed something in myself. And this is one way. This is when guilt helps us to grow and to change something, maybe to become more compassionate or empathetic to other people. What I'm talking here is this weird feeling of something is wrong with me, of being constantly guilty, of not allowing yourself to really live fully. Guilt is the most destructive emotion. It blocks so many things in our life, and it starts usually in our childhood. Very often there are certain patterns, certain situations that were happening in our life, certain things that our parents were telling us, certain punishments, certain blaming, criticizing, but more often it could be even something very subtle, something that you didn't really hear, but something that you felt. If you felt that you're kind of a problem here, that your presence, your emotions, your actions, they're not welcomed, they're not accepted, sometimes we can feel like a burden to our parents, that we're someone who requires certain energy, attention from them, and they're not very happy about it, they don't have enough energy, time, or resources. And that's one side of it. There are many more. For example, when we had a lot of expectations from our parents, that we need to be perfect, that we need to do everything right, we are not allowed to make mistakes, we're not allowed to have negative feelings and emotions, we're judged for them. We absorb all this as normal, and every time we feel something that is wrong, every time we're doing something that is not okay, there is guilt and fear of punishment. But on top of fear of punishment, there is certain expectation also of punishment, because very often we learn this pattern: I did something wrong, as a result I get some punishment, and then everything is back to normal. When we learn this pattern, we get used that guilt attracts punishment, and then we continue playing this pattern in our adult life. I can even tell you one story from my life, that I was living with a strong guilt for something really specific, something that I've done already when I was an adult. And this guilt was staying with me for more than 7 years, when I finally was able to release it. And I released it in a very weird way when I saw that after I did the certain things, all the bad stuff that was happening in my life, after how bad I was feeling and for how many years I was suffering, I connected in my mind that I received the punishment. I paid my debt for this kind of thing that I did, and now I can move forward. And that's how guilt can work. But I noticed other thing, the fact that I came into this situation when I did something that was not good, that maybe created certain problems for me and for other people, may have happened only because I was carrying a lot of unconscious guilt. And in my subconscious, it was so many, it was suppressed, it was using so many energy that it wanted to attract my attention, kind of heal this guilt. There is too much. And then you're in a certain situation, you're under emotions, you don't think very clearly, you say something, and then you're the bad person, you're the wrong one. And this is the example when we really do something and we can connect. I feel guilt because of this. Very often there's a lot of guilt that we can't even explain. We kind of live in and apologizing for our own existence. When we receive maybe some compliment or some kindness from some other person, we start feeling a bit uncomfortable. We're looking for signs that maybe something else is behind here. All this stuff we learn already from our childhood. And if you see it now, if you understand it, it's not a time to blame your parents, your life, or someone else. This has already happened. Most of us had certain situations that created a certain guilt, the feelings of not enough, this tendency to perfectionism and all this kind of things. The main point now is to understand and to see how it works, how it controls your life, and what you can do about it. The problem with guilt, why it's so heavy, why it's so difficult, why we're not healing it, why we're accumulating it, why we're attracting punishments, why we're attracting bad situations, why we can't enjoy our life, why we can't have more good things. Because guilt is not just an emotion. There is an emotional part, and it's heavy emotional pain. But the other part of guilt is self-rejection. And this is something that we learned. I did something wrong, I'm rejected, I'm judged, I'm not accepted. We absorb this pattern and it becomes our own relationship with ourselves inside. If we say that this is inner child and inner parent, or our emotions and our thinking and how they interact together. So not only in this moment we can't be present and go through this feeling and release it and help ourselves to be with it. We are the one who is judging and rejecting. Rejection is the worst here because we can't heal when we're rejected by ourselves. And there is another thing here. Why we're also rejected by ourselves? Why we took this idea that we can't allow any mistake, we can't allow to be wrong, we can't allow ourselves to be bad? Because of this perfectionism and the idea that I need to be perfect. Sometimes it goes to such a high level that we're not allowing ourselves almost anything. I should not be angry. I should not be sad. I should not be lazy. I should not make any mistake. I should always understand everyone. I should always be kind to everyone. I should not judge anyone. I should be always calm. I should be always productive. I should not waste my time. I should feel good. I should do this and that and that. And all this expectation about ourselves creates such huge pressure. Very often it's almost impossible to fit this expectation. And for everything that is not fitting this ideal picture, we rejecting and blaming ourselves. So how we can start going out from this cycle? I will share a bit more from my experience. I learned this many years ago about myself when slowly I was noticing more and more during my self-work how I'm not allowing myself emotions. If I feel anxiety, I need to fix it. It's not okay. If I feel anger, no, I'm not angry. I'm not showing any anger. I'm calm. I understand everyone. I'm good to other people. And there was so many small things that I was noticing more and more that I'm trying to be someone that's even kind of not a human, something so perfect, so good that of course it's impossible. But to start healing this guilt, you need your own compassion. You need your own presence to release and process these heavy feelings. So there are a few things that you can do. First, of course, is awareness. Awareness of the fact that you may be carrying guilt. It's not really your natural state. It's something that you learned at certain program, at certain beliefs, you took it in your childhood and you continue running this pattern. It's not only from childhood and from your parents, it's in schools and the society, it's going from government, from religion. There are a lot of things around in our kind of informational field that learn us to feel bad and to feel guilt, because that's how we're controlled. When you start understanding this better, you may start noticing how it works in your life, how it's running your feelings, your decision in different situations. Once you see it, you already start giving it your awareness and your presence, and just the presence and looking and accepting without trying to fix or change or judge is already the first step to healing. Just start looking at it. When you start looking at it, you even can tell yourself, I accumulated certain guilt, I'm running certain programs, but I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to face this guilt. And that's the moment when you can start finally getting in touch with this deep emotional pain. Pain of being the bad one, pain of not maybe deserving something, emotional pain that you need just to connect with. And you can maybe try a bit even now while I'm here with you and look where it is on your body. Very often it could be here in your chest, certain tightness. It can be also in your throat, like some blocked emotion, something that you didn't express. Everything that you shut down by feeling something is very, very wrong with what you did. You're the bad one. And you connect here and now with this feeling of being the bad one, with all this heaviness, and just feel it. If you want, you can even pause the video and connect with some of these feelings. If you did it now, you can already feel a bit of change in your energy, how your mind may be slowing down, and how this heaviness come to your body, maybe some tears, maybe something else. If you don't do it now, you can do it later when you feel comfortable. I also have other few videos that can be helpful about processing negative emotions. I can link them. But that's actually how you go through accumulated emotions and energy blocks. But the other thing that you need here is, of course, to change your inner dialogue and to change your relationship with yourself. Actually, before you went to feeling the guilt, already some shift happened. You allowed it to yourself to not be perfect and to feel bad. But you need self-compassion, self-love, self-acceptance. You need your own presence when you're going through it. And you need slowly finding and removing your huge expectation about how good and perfect you should be. And you need to learn to become a friend and become supportive in the situation when you don't feel so great about yourself, when you don't feel so good. Self-love and self-acceptance is a very big topic. It's something that actually was fundamental for me, for all my changes that I've had in my life. For self-healing, for all the inner transformation, is a must, is a foundation. That's why I have more videos on this topic. I have a playlist that's called Self-Love. There are several videos about fear of judgment, self-love, self-acceptance. And I'm also sharing a journaling technique that you can use to stop your inner critic. Something that I used for myself when at some point I just felt desperate with the understanding how much I'm controlled inside my head with this inner critic that was created in my childhood. A lot of this inner critic for me was created by absorbing everything my grandmother was telling to me. She was a kind of a perfectionist, and she wanted me to be perfect and everything without any flaws, without any mistake. And as in my childhood for many years, she took a lot of care of me and my sisters. I get a lot of this influence. This is a part of this perfectionism and inner critic. What I got from my mother that gave me this a lot of guilt is this feeling that I'm the problem. I was always feeling that everything that I'm doing is not okay, that if I want something, if I feel something, it's always not a good time, not a good place. And when I was looking at her, I was always feeling that it would be so much easier for her without me. And growing with this creative guilt for just the fact that you're existing. And this is a difficult feeling, but no matter how difficult it is, no matter for how many years you live with all these patterns, it's possible to change. And if you're tired from limiting yourself from achieving results, from doing most things, from enjoying your life, from having more relationship and connections, you can start this healing. Or maybe you're on your healing journey already for a long time and you just need another reminder and another moment of this peace and presence and self-acceptance. I hope that you will use what I mentioned in this video, and I hope you will start feeling better, releasing guilt and accepting yourself. Processing these difficult, painful emotions will bring you to the next level in almost every area in your life. I'm a great example of it, and even if I'm doing for many years, it's not over yet. I don't know how many more years I need to work with this stuff, but every time I'm doing more, something else changing in me and in my life, and it's growth, it's life, it's journey. The main thing that it's moving, I'm moving, and I'm changing. And I wish that you could experience the same thing, and that you will be kinder to yourself, and that you can find the root of this guilt, and that you can start healing it and feel better.